Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody today to our ribbon cutting for the history room. And as everybody who has been involved with old houses knows, every old house has a story to tell. This house in particular has a particularly important and far-reaching story to tell because it is where the founder of Millikin University lived. And the history room will allow us to tell that story much more efficiently and extensively than we have been able to do so in the past. And so before I turn it over to our ribbon cutters, I'd like to briefly recognize the financial contributions made that allowed this a wonderful little facility to take place. Nothing happens by itself. It takes a lot of financial contributions and effort. And on the financial side, we'd like to thank the Ulrich Trust. Our long-standing partnership with them has yielded this history room, the Cap family, the Cat Foundation with Jerry and Peggy Ruff and Dave and Kay Martin, the Hanks and Malinchik family, the Williams family, and the donation of some cases from Millikin University. And then besides, on beyond the financial part, there is the blood, sweat, and effort that is involved. And in particular, the ringleaders in this effort were Brigida Cap and Joanne Kerber. And Joanne. And Doug Warren, I'm sure, was involved with a lot of muscle work. And a lot of other people had different roles to play with actually getting this put together and come to realization. And in closing, I want to recognize the contributions of past officers, Linda Ostrander and Julie Carter, and the efforts of Mary Lou Brown, a former board member. And let's see. And at this point, I lost my card. So we would like to start off with the ribbon cutting. Number 2, ribbon cutting with Jim Reynolds.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Miranda Rothrock. I am the president of the Decatur Regional Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, of course, loves ribbon cuttings and celebrations, and what a great day and what a great opportunity to celebrate a gemstone in our community. James Millikin has numerous contributions to this community and cannot be thanked enough. And this home, it just epitomizes the gems that we have here in our community, and sometimes we're guilty and we take them all for granted. So I congratulate you and would like to present this plaque to the James Millikin Homestead for this extensive remodel on this history room. So on behalf of the Decatur Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber Board of Directors, in recognition of the dedication and service and outstanding leadership to achieve this milestone, your commitment to our community is greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much.
So the Chamber uses ceremonial scissors. We've used these since the 1930s to do ribbon cuttings. And so I'm going to make a little snip and I will hand off to President Reynolds.
And you want me to cut all the way through it?
You can, whoever wants to cut all the way through, or
Give a little to your wife too.
We'll cut halfway through and all that. We're really glad to be here with you today. James Millikin obviously founded Millikin University. It was no small feat. Back at that particular moment in history, you had to have a charter from the state of Illinois, and he did not have that charter. And so had to go and negotiate with Lincoln College to get a charter so that we could have a university in Decatur. So Mr. Millikin has been an important part of the history of our town, certainly absolutely devoted to the university that he helped to create. And so it's really a privilege on my part and for Sue and I to be a part of the ceremony today. So I'm going to go halfway through. Like that. I'm going to pass to my wife.
yeah, I can't lose those ceremonial scissors. Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
So next up, we are going to have some comments from, let's see, have comments from Brigitte.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I don't have notes, so I won't lose them. But I just want to say it's a pleasure to have this ceremony today. This is not a new idea. I'm seeing over there Charlotte Hanks and Tom Malenchek, and they had participated in our first efforts to have a history room. As a matter of fact, there's a little thing behind here where it says the history room, which was the little breakfast area next to the kitchen, was kind of created in 1995, a celebration commemorating 110 years of the home's construction and the 10th anniversary. And among the people listed here and giving money, Charlotte Haynes and Thomas Malenchek.
That's great.
This room, the location is new because we found out that the small breakfast area having a dual purpose was at odds with each other. We needed the room to do a staging area for anything we did, and so every time we opened it up for people to see, it came with this disclaimer, oh, I'm sorry, it looks like a mess, but, you know. So it wasn't until actually 2020 in January that the board voted on doing this room. And this room originally was part of the caretaker's apartment, because early on we had caretakers here. The little area was a small kitchen, this was the living room, and the bedroom, which still looks messy and just like this room used to be, you know, those comprised the apartment. And it was then when we decided, oh, let's go ahead and do it. And as mentioned, with donations from a grant from the Uric Foundation, and with a little extra from other people, it was possible. The only real expense was the flooring. First we thought, oh, has to be all replaced, and we were delighted to find out that this is the original floor underneath, which was then refinished. And we needed professional help in doing the plaster repairs. But everything else you see is sweat equity from the board. We painted, you know, all the things right home is, I'm not going to do that in my own house. You come over here and do it because you want to save the organization money. So it was really with Joanne and with Mary Lou that we painted and cleaned and scrubbed and put it all together, and within 6 months it was finished. Even so, we were by then in a total drought of showing because nobody was supposed to come. It was easy to do the project because it always just involved a couple of work people who could distance if they so desired, so it wasn't like we were breaking rules, you know. And the purpose was to bring the historic photos which had been brought about at a time from Maryland Loughborough in 1985, when you had to go on the microfilm wheel in the library and go through it. It isn't like now where I say, oh, I'm going to look something up, and you sit with your coffee cup by the computer and plop, it comes up, you know. It was much more time involved at that. All the things that are in black frames are those historic photographs that will always stay in the room, and the things in the glass cases and on this big cork board. We hope to entice people's interest by switching out small exhibits. They can be private little exhibits, like the Homestead doesn't have a single book plate, but that doesn't matter. Book plates are something that started in the 1600s and have surprisingly gone even up until the present, because when I researched that, I came online across basically a website that said, oh, you know, international collectors of book plates meet every other year in a exciting place, and they exchange plates, not because they necessarily always put it in their own books, because by now they have become little graphic treasures that people collect just because of what they are. So without further ado, I let you look around at just one little aside, that small closet area, which used to be the kitchen for the caretakers, that we have kind of put aside for showing some of the things as they really happen. So if you go in, there will be some panels from before, from some of the ceiling decorations. It will show posters of different ways that some of the restoration has evolved over the years. It just gives you a little hands-on appreciation that not only a lot of time and money has gone into this house, but a lot of sweat equity and a lot of enthusiasm. So without further ado, if you want to look a little bit around, this exhibit is totally self-explanatory. It's just all the little information things, maybe more than you ever wanted to know, because book plates, you think, oh my gosh, who does that anymore? Well,
Who has books anymore?
yeah, and who has books that they plan to
If
keep?
people would start with
It
that
isn't
paragraph
like
right
your
there,
novel
that
where you
gives you
say,
the
oh, we'll
basic.
pass it on.
That paragraph gives you that's like the place to start, that paragraph.
Yes,
right?
yes, you can start here where it talks about the book plates and how this exhibit came to be. Everything I can explain or so, I should point out one interesting point, and maybe it wouldn't be interesting to you at all, but to me it is. I have a book plate in there in the bookcase that is my father's, which my husband designed for him 20, 30 years ago. And even without probably my explaining, you can find out what his profession was, because people use book plates to show heritage, to show profession, or to show whimsical likes. I love cats, so I have a cat on my book plate, and things like this. So look around. What's also interesting, and I should point it out, right where Sue and Jim are standing, there are the book plates that were the old ones with showing people's heraldic signs. And since book plates mostly are in black and white, it will show there, and you can look at the explanation that lines in different directions and in different order indicated a certain color. So if you look that up, you say, oh, this one is supposed to be red, white, and blue, and things like this. So it's kind of fun. And you're welcome to
And the oldest one here?
the literature. The oldest one is 1600, which is a book plate that was designed by Matthias Zünd. He was a German engraver. Many early book plates were done by quite known people. I mean, there were Dürer plates, and then, it's because people could afford, the early ones, to hire an artist to execute it for them. So as I say, the older ones are in there, and as a matter of fact, they are all authenticated by the Pinakothek and the Kunsthistorische Museum in Wien.
Well, thank you, Regina. That's certainly a lot to learn in here. And in closing, we'd like to present President Reynolds with a little thank you gift from the board. And I would like to invite all of you to join us in a reception down in the dining room, and feel free to mingle and ask questions and explore. This is, kind of a different mode than our usual tours. It's this little party tour, so best of all possible worlds. So thanks for coming today, and like I said, feel free to join us downstairs for refreshments.